you.
All right. Okay, so we have our starter guide, and I was saying today in a call that what I do with the starter guides, you can buy them off the virtual office under wholesale, and you can actually just buy a few copies of just this book alone. And so I've actually got like several copies in my office, like 4 or whatever, I just keep in stock. And when you start a new franchisee, because sometimes they don't sign up on the spot, sometimes, you wait until they've got some customers or whatever, but you still want to induct them into the company. You still want them to feel like they're really involved in the business and that they know what they're doing. So you still want to be able to do starter guide training with them, and you want them to actually physically have something in their hand. So these are they're not that expensive. I think they're like $4 a book or something. And I've just got 4. And then when that person gets sent out their welcome pack, for instance, Christy, if I'd seen you, I would have given you one of these, and then when you got in your welcome pack, you would have just given it back to me. So I've always got stock, kind of thing, yeah? So it's just a really good thing to have. So I'm just going to open up on my screen anyway, just so I can have a look at the starter guide as we go. But the starter guide on the virtual office does vary from the one that I've got in front of me from November. So they do update it all the time. So yeah, it's always good just to check into the virtual office, I guess, and just have a look at what, you've got that you're training off, I guess. So as we go through this, if you could just think of, yes, this training is for you as an individual coming into this business, or maybe you've been doing this business for a while, but it's also for you to learn how to train this out. So, when you start to get teamies, how you would talk about it. But we would always do this together for as long as you need. So, for instance, Christy, if you had, a couple of new people starting your team, you might be like, well, I don't know how to do starter guide training yet. Sure, I've been to one, but I don't really know how to do it. That's cool. Marla might go, well, I can do it. Or she might go, actually, I'm not ready yet. That's cool. And then it'll be passed up to me. So I'm always here. I'm totally happy to do as many starter guide trainings as we need. And same for you, Lace, for your team as well.
Yep.
But, and for Kylie and anyone else that's going to start creating a team. But just to let you know that, this is something to add to your toolkit as a leader to be able to train out to your teamies as they come on board. So you'd want to be kind of getting them onto the starter guide training within maybe the first 7 days, I would say, is a good aim from when they actually start or when they actually say yes to the business, and then go from there. So the first page in the actual manual is a mission-driven page, and it's really just reminding us that we are a mission-driven company with inspiring healthy living. So sometimes we get trapped in the whole headspace, especially when you start in this business of, I've got to sell Juice Plus. But in actual fact, that's not the company's mission at all. It is inspiring healthy living. You're trying to lead people, guide people in the right direction by recommending Juice Plus or sharing Juice Plus, whatever word, however you connect to what you're doing there. And it's giving them beyond a capsule. So it's really sharing with them, our community. It's sharing with them, one simple change. It's sharing events, and which events have like this wealth of knowledge in them with special guest speakers and all this kind of stuff as well. So it's really just actually putting someone into a whole new world of living, really. And it goes beyond a product that you can get on a shelf, like a Swiss multivitamin you get off the shelf, and it doesn't come with customer care. It doesn't come with, an educational program that's investing in you for free, or sometimes $5 entry or $10 entry for as long as you are going to turn up. And even if you're not on the product, people are invited to continue to, come to those things. And so it's really inspiring healthy living. So when you wake up in the morning, rather than I've just joined a business and I need to sell Juice Plus, it's who can I help today? Who can I inspire to change into one simple change, whether it be to exercise more, and you post up a picture on social media, the fact that, you know, you've just gone for a walk, or you've just done the Roto swim, or, you know, something like that, or whether it's, you know, inspiring somebody to eat an apple, or to feed their kids a healthy platter of whole food, or whatever it is that, you know, your audience and you can connect to that's authentic for you. It's inspiring healthy living. It's not just about today I ate Juice Plus and just keep showing capsules. Yeah. So it goes beyond that. So that's the first page, and it's really just reminding us of our mission and how simple it is, and to try not to get caught up about that. So I think one of the things is we were talking about our whys to begin with and stuff. It is really important to know why you do this, and why you're in it, and why now, which I agree with Sam Cawthorn after listening to him today, and just to have a why as to why you do this, and leading it back into your mission company and aligning that to inspiring healthy living. So page 3 of the PDF, or in the manual, I'm not sure. I think it's still page 2. Sorry, it is page 1 is the front cover, so I'm not going to count that. So page 1 is the mission driven. Page 2 is the join the mission. So there is a document on your virtual office that is just gives you a summary or an overview of the Juice Plus company. It's a 1-pager. It's an A4, and it's so good just to print out and just to pin on your wall, read through it a few times, and just to start to familiarise yourself with the company. It builds your belief in Juice Plus, and it just gives you some depth into understanding the company. So you might, you know, if you go for a job, you're going to look up that company. You're going to get on that website before your interview, and you're going to know what you're doing. You're going to know about that school that you're going for an interview at, or you're going to know about that gym that you're going for an interview at, or whatever it is for your job. You're going to know it, and you're going to be able to go to that interview, and when the recruiter, or when, you know, the HR person or whoever's interviewing you starts asking you some questions around the company, you're going to know how long it's gone for. You're going to know what their kind of business areas are that they do, what they specialize in, if they're a school or something like that. And same with the Juice Plus company. Know it. Know how long it's been operating for. Know who the CEO is. Know who, you know, is the CEO of Australia, but also the founding director of Juice Plus, and understand his story and watch some YouTube clips on it, and just start to build on that belief from a company background. There's also some bits in there about fast tracking to SDVF, or Senior Direct Virtual Franchisee, and we're not going to cover that tonight because we don't have enough time. And I'm more than happy. I mean, Christy and I got on the phone with Marla last night, and we were just going through SDVF and what that means. And I can do that with anyone. It's totally fine. And, you know, as a leader, to be offering that to your team as well. So do starter guide training as one thing, and then do the goal as another thing, rather than bring it all together. On that same page as well is your pricings. And I think one thing that is a great idea, especially from VF, which is your virtual franchise, through to DVF, direct virtual franchise, through to SDVF, senior direct virtual franchisee, is to manually track your points in what you're doing. So we have on this page what's called purchase volume credits, or PVCs, and next to each of our product line, we have a PVC related figure, and those amounts relate to certain titles and certain goals within the business that we collect. But I'll show you where to track those points after as we move on, but just so that you know they're on this page. Then we've got what it costs for a 4-month installment, what it costs if you pay for the product in full, if you pay on the virtual office in wholesale. And the retail profit is, first of all, the difference of the cost of the product on shelf, but also what we get paid at a virtual franchise entry into the business on each product. So it's just good to know that that's there, good to familiarise yourself with it, and to understand our product line. And it's really simple. Our product line is, you know, the fruit and veg, the premium pack, the berry alone, the soft chews, and the complete. So it's super simple. The Before tonight's training, I just asked everyone just to have a look at pages 3 and 17 on the PDF. And that was the create your own product story and create your own business story. Now, the reason that these are super important is, as I was chatting with Lise before the call, is that these are something that you would be able to say within, say, 30 seconds. And it's really to have your own back when somebody says to you, oh, so why do you do Juice Plus? And so you know your product story or your business story absolutely down pat, to the point that you are still leaving things open for questions, because you want people to ask questions. You don't want to just vomit all over them a whole stack of information. You want to maintain interest. So again, you know, if you sit there for 15 minutes and start sounding like a Demos Direct ad, and you're going to throw in softies for free and all this kind of stuff as well, that just gets a little bit overwhelming for people. And your passion can get kind of caught up in that. And I'm my worst enemy for this. And so I was saying to Lise, if you're the kind of person who your passion gets caught up in the stories, then you might want to choose to write it down. It's still got to come from heart. It's still got to sound good. It's got to sound strong though. And the shorter it is, the more powerful it is. But it's still got to be short and powerful. So I would suggest to have a crack at writing this out if you haven't already, and speak to your upline about it, or involve your further upline if you need to really kind of nail it down, because sometimes you just need some feedback on how it sounds, because it might sound okay in your head, but when somebody else hears it, it might be like, well, we can probably take out this, and you know. And once that's over and over again, that you've just nailed that, sure, you can elaborate on it when people ask questions, or if you're invited onto a Zoom call to share your business story or share your product story, it can be a bit longer. But just to have the fundamental baseline of your product and business story is really, really good. It's a powerful tool. So to really, that's why they've only got 3 lines there on each one. But I first heard about Juice Plus. Juice Plus made sense to me, and since I've added Juice Plus to my diet. And you know what? Even though this says starter guide, it's more like a business guide. I've rewritten my product and business story so many times since I've started this business, because it changes, because my reasons for doing the business changes, and my benefit, like what I see from having been on the product for so long, and the benefits of my body has changed. So why wouldn't I update it? So it's always good just to keep revisiting those two things. Do anyone have any questions on the product and business story side of things? I did come with wine.
I don't know. I think I'm a bit worried, because I've like, I know it says there that like this should be generic or whatever. So should it literally just be like, you know, like as far as it says, you know, friend, like I heard from a friend, like you don't say anything more than that, because it is only the 30 to 45 seconds that you've got. Because like being a teacher, there's 3 lines there, and I'll fill them up to get full marks. So you know what I mean? Like, I'm like, it's all generic, and it just says friend, brother, neighbour. I'm like, how big do you want me to write it? Like, seriously.
So here's the thing, right? This is mine. Like, Lisa, you've heard me talk about my product and business stories. Okay?
Yeah.
You've probably heard me talk about it for about an hour before.
Yeah.
Correct?
Not quite that long, but yeah.
Okay. So, but this would be my product story. I first heard about Juice Plus from my friend Helena when I went to a Healthy Living Expo. She kind of like pushed me over to the stand. I was tasting the soft chews. I loved them. I decided I was a skeptic, but I'd give it a go anyway. And it made sense to me because it was fruits and veggies in a capsule. And I wasn't getting enough in my diet. And because I'm not really consistent with, you know, healthy eating all the time and stuff like that, it just meant that I could get more in my diet. And since I've done it, since I've put it in my body for over 5 years now, I've noticed my immune system is absolutely, I can't fault it. And just my skin, my health, overall health and just well-being is awesome.
Yeah. So that's it's good because yours, you know, it's real, obviously, but not only that, it can connect with so many people. And the problem with mine, I feel like I can't connect with as many because, like, the reason why I started Juice Plus wasn't so I could get more fruit and veggie in. Like, it was so that I could get off my meds, and like that's like not everyone's on meds. Like, it's pretty simple.
No,
and I feel like
that resonates with me too.
But
I don't know if you guys can hear me, but
yeah,
I just feel like yeah, I mean I want to be able to do it, and I want to be able to say it, and you know, and it make an impact. But I'm just a bit wary that people will think like, and a few people have said this to me with feedback and said, but like, I'm not sick, or I don't, I'm not sick at the moment, or I'm not on any medication or anything like that, because my story doesn't necessarily resonate with them, which is fair enough.
So,
but that's where, yeah.
Why is it important that you got off your meds?
Because I wanted to feel like me again, like a person.
And what was feeling like you again?
Happy.
Yeah. And?
Yeah. And I don't know, having energy.
Yeah. And so your story might be, I wanted to get on Juice Plus because I just really wanted to feel energy again back in my body, and I just really wanted to be in that happy space that I've been missing.
Yeah.
That might connect more to people rather than saying I wanted to get off my meds, because a lot of people might not even be on meds but might have a problem. They might be not feeling happy. They might not even know that they're depressed or anything else. And so maybe it's still authentic, but what you've done there is you've just taken it deeper and more broader to a wider range of people.
Yeah.
Think?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
I don't know, but we can work on your product and business story if you want and cut it.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Really kind of nail it down.
That'd be good.
You can help me do mine too.
Yeah.
All right.
All
Does
good.
anyone else have any questions on product and business story? I can actually hear cricket.
Yeah, they're here.
Oh, I thought it was at my house.
Oh, they're probably everywhere. They're just echoing. They're probably like trying to like be in contact.
You know the saying, like, I can hear crickets, but nothing. I can like literally hear them. All right.
Yeah.
So the next page.
It's actually coming through the phone.
It is. The next page is really just kind of talking about, which you guys can read in your own time. So that would be page 5 on the PDF or page 4 on your handbook. And really, I mean, just read through those things and just know that the information's there. I wouldn't necessarily go through them with somebody. That, you know, the starter guide doesn't need to be handheld the whole way through. It's still up to the individual who's starting this business to take upon themselves to read the information. But I do love this page, and it's the frequently asked questions. So it's number 6, page 6 on the PDF, or page 5 on your handbook. And these sincerely are the 5 biggest questions in the business. And Lise, I don't know if like you'd agree, but these,
definitely.
Like any other questions outside of these, awesome. My answer to that would be, do you know what? Actually don't know the answer to it, but that's a really good question. I'm new in this business and I'm just learning myself. So I'm going to go and ask, and I'm going to come back to you if that's all right. Or I'm just going to call Taz. Do you have a minute? I'll just get her on a 3-way call and we'll ask her. That's an awesome question. And I need to learn this stuff because I'm doing this business now. Do you know what I mean? So really embrace the fact that you're new and really play on that with people, and thank them for the hard questions because it's part of your learning, and thank them for challenging you because it's part of your learning and you're going to grow from it. So don't cower to questions or cower to accusations or anything like that. Just say, oh my God, that's awesome. I hadn't even thought of that. Do you mind if I find out the information, or, you know, and get back to you? Or if I found out different, did you want me to let you know? like something along those lines. But the first question is, what does it cost? So this I would vary depending on who I'm talking to, because I've already asked that person questions and I'm speaking to them in their values. If I'm speaking to a lady, like for instance, and she loves the wine, like she drinks a lot, she does smoke, she doesn't have that much of a healthy diet, she really knows that she just is missing something, wants to get on it, and she's asking about the cost. I would make sure first, I'd say, so how come it is that you're actually interested in Juice Plus, rather than answer cost straight away? And then she might say, look, because I just know that like I'm just missing something. I just want to feel more energy or something like that. And then you can go, okay, that's great. And so, are you looking at other multivitamins or anything like that? And they might say, yeah, been looking at this, and that's awesome, because you're missing something. So do you know anything about Juice Plus? And they might say no, and then that gives you an opportunity to tell them a bit more about Juice Plus. Or you can say, well, how about I send you a 3-minute video from YouTube? Would you watch it if I did? They might be, yep. So then the conversation's going back and forth, whether it be on Facebook or message or text or in person. And then you get to the cost if they want to know the cost. And you've already asked questions. So I know now that this lady is a drinker and blah, blah, blah. So I would just say, look, Juice Plus is $3.90 a day. And it's 30 fruits and veggies that you're getting in your diet consistently every single day. It's a bottle of wine a week. It's $27 a week. And I said, and the best thing about this business is that it gets shipped out to you in 4-month supply, so you don't have to keep paying shipping. And then you just get to pay like on a monthly basis if that'll help your budget. So it's actually $117 a month. So it's super cheap for 30 fruits and veggies a day. And I think, was it Christy, you wrote, go do me a favour, go to the market, go buy, no, that wasn't you. That was Shay. That was another girl on Facebook. She was like, she sent out a message to everyone going, can all my family and friends please do me a favour and go and buy a variety of different 30 pension fruit from the actual supermarket and blah, 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 blah. And by the way, your budget is $27 for the whole week. And just let me know how you go. And it was really practical. It was just like, okay. I don't know if she got any response from it, but the way she put it was quite clever. And then if you're not speaking to someone in the way of wine, it might be coffee. It might be, whatever they're stuck on. Maybe they're on a light and easy program or something like that, or they're, whatever, and they're wanting to just improve their health and they've got some money that you can save them along the way. Then that's where you're kind of comparing it. But you'll only know that when you're asking questions.
Why does it say, Taz, on there $2.50 a day? Is that for the fruit and veg? Yeah.
So that's just for the fruit and veggie caps. But my advice would always be to say the premium pack first. Firstly, we all have it. Why would we recommend anything less? But secondly, is because it's so much easier to go down than it is to go up. If you say to someone, it's only $2.50 a day, but if you want the berry, that's $3.90 a day, rather than go, it's $3.90 a day. And then if you see them gawk at that or feel that they absolutely cannot afford that, then you can drop it down to, well, do you know what? We actually have a foundations pack that you can start on. It is just the fruit and veg. And then maybe in 4 months' time, we can look at upping you to the premium pack if you want. Like, it's a lot easier to drop it down, and it sounds a lot better to people than to try and push it up.
Yeah.
And remembering back to our mission is to inspire healthy living, and we want to go out to help people, and we know that the trio pack is the best. So why would we recommend anything less? Number 2 is, why can't I just buy it a month at a time instead of making 4-month commitment? So the answer to this is that our cells turn over or regenerate every 120 days. We have a new batch of fresh blood cells. And so pretty much what happened, well, we don't just get given them in days. we're creating them slowly over that 120 days. And by the end of that 120 days, whatever we do today from that 120 days dictates our state of health. For instance, if I decided to take up smoking today, in 120 days, you will see the outcome of that habit on my cells. If I stopped drinking wine from today, in 120 days, you will see the full result of what that's done to my blood cells. Whether the walls are thicker, the walls are thinner, whether they have less spikiness, whether, you know, all those kind of things, and they're fighting more stronger, weaker, whatever I've done to my body. And same with Juice Plus. It's also to save on shipping. Question number 3, why do I need Juice Plus when I already take vitamins? So in everyone's welcome packs that they will get a what's in an apple. Christy, did you get that?
I think so. I haven't fully gone through it yet, so yeah.
Yeah, that's fine, hon. It's an A4 page, and it's just got, like, at the top, what's in an apple, and then it lists about 500 different vitamins and stuff that's in that apple that's been actually found. And there's actually more than that. They've just not tracked it. They've just not gone to look any further as to what's in there. So that's in that whole apple is 490 to 500 known nutrients, whereas a synthetic multivitamin has about 25 to 30 synthetic. So it's like your magnesium, your iron, your vitamin C, those kind of things, yeah? Whereas the apple has all of that plus, 495 more. And so I guess the difference of a multivitamin and Juice Plus, first of all, Juice Plus has with the 30 pack, with the premium pack, has over 12,500 different nutrients in it, 12,500, as opposed to 25 to 30. And not only that, the science that backs Juice Plus shows that the whole food Juice Plus can have 100% uptake in the human body. So that means the human body sees it as whole food because there's nothing else in it, and it is 100% uptaken into the cells, and it can be rather than is. Okay? And research has actually shown on the other scale that pretty much with multivitamins and synthetic multivitamins that there is about a 4% uptake maximum. So if you're speaking value for money, I'd prefer to spend $1 and to get 100% of my dollar back rather than spend $1 and to get 4 cents of my dollar back, if we're talking money. So that's the difference between a multivitamin and Juice Plus. Why do I need to eat Juice Plus? Because I already eat lots of fruits and veggies. So I have loads of vegan friends, whole foodies, everything else. And really the the World Health Organization has now stipulated that we need 9 to 13 serves of raw fruits and veggies in our diet every single day. And that's cup size. And I think when you're thinking about that, it's like to have that consistently in your diet every day, it's really difficult. And I don't know about you, but 365 days a year, I can't consistently do that. I'm not organised enough to do that. I don't actually have the fridge space to do that and to store it. And I'm not really organised, to go to the markets and to prep and to cut up all the food and everything else. And if you're speaking to mums and that as well, for example, Christy and Marla, it's really, it's pretty much a given. I'd be really surprised if any mum had the time to do that myself, having become a mum myself. I just thank goodness for complete. But really, anyone that eats loads of fruits and veggies anyway, and they sincerely do, and they might be doing that, then that's awesome. I just congratulate them for that. And Juice Plus, which is question number 5, does not substitute for your current diet. It doesn't say to stop eating fruits and veggies because you're getting enough with Juice Plus. It says for those of you who are getting loads of fruits and veggies in your body every day, this is going to top you up and absolutely smash your energy, really take you to that next level of vitality. Whereas for those of you who aren't having that amount in your diet every day, it's bridging the gap, and that's all it's doing. So Juice Plus is really for everyone. Moving on from that page, that's my favourite page, so the rest is pretty quick. So I know we're running out of time. The next one is page 7 and page 8 is about your memory jogger. Personally, page 7 is just a fancy looking page. I think it should be longer. There's only like 15 spots there. The other night, well, not the other night, a month or so ago, when I sat down and redid my memory jogger, I wrote out 180 new people, and I tend to add to that like every week. So that page 8 actually goes through and it gives you, prompts you for other people to think about in your life, which you might not have actually written down. And the only thing I would say about your memory jogger is to really write names down without assumption. Don't ever make other people's minds up for them whether they can afford Juice Plus or not, whether they deserve Juice Plus or not, or whether they'd prioritise Juice Plus or not. Write their name down, and if they're on your chicken list, they're on your chicken list, but guess what? Their name's there, and we'll get to them. But never assume what someone's priority for health is. So even if they're the cigarette smoking, Jack Daniel drinking, sitting in the corner eating a packet of chips and drinking a can of Coke kind of guy, and you're thinking he works at Coles and he's just eating that kind of, he's not going to have Juice Plus. Well, guess what? He might be going to bed every single night, really worried about his health, really worried that he's going down the same track as his parents, and doesn't really see a window of opportunity to help him or get out. Maybe Juice Plus will, and maybe he will prioritise it. Maybe he will find something in his diet which he can take out so he can add Juice Plus in. So never make assumptions, and just write everyone's name down to begin with. On page 9, there is a 30-day grid, and the 30-day grid is really just for you to write 2 names down and at a minimum every single day. So it counts when you contact them, not when you think of them. So, for instance, on Facebook, you might start a conversation. I think being the beginning of the year, it's actually a really good opportunity to do this. And it's like you might write to someone and say, hey, how you doing? Haven't spoken to you in ages. You just crossed my mind today, just wondering how you're getting on, and what's on the plan for 2016? What's your goals, or what's on the books for 2016, or what are you up to this year? And then that can then start a conversation, and then you're really just asking questions, being creative with asking more questions and collecting information, and then start to speak and respond to them in accordance to their values. And then you may find that there's an opportunity to raise about Juice Plus, the product, or Juice Plus and the business. And so you can write their names down. And the reason that the 30-day grid's really, really, I guess, productive, and I never did this before. I was like, 30-day grid, whatever. But it's actually really good in the fact that you do actually forget who you've contacted. But if you contacted them and written their names down, then you are running a business, and you're proactively going back and just double checking in with those people that they've watched the video you sent, or that they've received the information that you've given them. If they've got any questions they want to ask, things like that, and just double, checking back in and keeping that conversation flowing. So one thing I will also say is never assume that people, because they've gone silent or haven't responded, don't want to know, because we get really busy in life. We also have things happen. So I remember 2 years ago, I asked a girl about Juice Plus, and I was speaking to her and she was really keen, and then she didn't come to an event, and then I followed up with her and I just didn't get anything. And I was like, oh my God, she actually, no, I don't think she wants to speak to me anymore. I think that she just thinks I'm bothering her, everything else. Well, it turned out her son was in Princess Margaret Hospital, and he had a serious accident, and she was in there for like 2 weeks with him, and then obviously she came home with him, and then there was recovery from there. And here I am making it all about me. That, you know, oh my gosh, she doesn't like me, or she doesn't want to come to this event, or she thinks I'm some kind of crazy juice buzz or whatever. So, you know, just putting a sincere message out there that, you know, I hope everything's okay with you. I haven't heard back from you. Please touch base when you can, just to let me know you're okay, or something like that is fine. But rather than sit there and worry that you've done something wrong, I just, you know, based on that experience alone, I wouldn't. Then you've got your page 10 is DMO. And this is something that we're all really working on in our business at the moment and trying to refine. And I think with DMO, which stands for Daily Method of Operation, it's just practice. If it doesn't work, change it. If it doesn't work, change it. If it doesn't work, change it. But to have something and to have something to go off and to tick off will keep you consistent in your business, because you'll go up and down. You'll go like this. Lisa Marla, agree?
Yep.
And I think the daily method of operation just keeps you in check. It just means, you know, if your minimum is to contact 2 people a day, and to do 2 follow-ups a day, then you're ticking it off, you're doing it. And even if you're down, you can tick it off and you can do it. There is some days in the business where and I said to Marla the other day, you just have to give yourself a day off. With this kind of business, it's not like you have weekends off. We do tend to be on it all the time. And I think we can exhaust our energy bank through doing that. So really just making sure that you do give yourself time off, and having a daily method of operation gives you that permission, because you've ticked off those things, and then you switch off and you're off, rather than thinking and worrying in the back of your mind, I've got to do my business, what, like, you know, and having these authentic conversation. Are you my next customer, or are you my next teamie? Like, do you know what I mean? Like, you can't just meet people and think you're in. You know, you've got to really kind of just be in the zone of just making friendships and being you, and then building a relationship, and then thinking that. Do you know what I mean? So sometimes it's a bit hard. Then we've got the last couple of pages is really just one simple change stuff. So we have the One Simple Change Facebook page that I would recommend that everyone feeds into, whether it be current customers, potential customers, past customers. Link them to the One Simple Change, because this is our mission right here. This is inspiring healthy living. So it's more than Juice Plus, but it's just getting them to be a part of the community and a part of inspiring healthy living. So January was hydration, February was gratitude, and this month is Go Green. And it can be green as in eco green. It can be green as in, you know, green like Kermit the Frog, whatever, any subject of green, or it can be health green in line of smoothies and everything else. And Kermit's healthy because he makes you laugh. So, you know, you can link anything back to it. But get them involved in that, and then it will slowly allow you to, you know, drip feed information, or other people to validate your information and drip feed that information. Then there's pages on knowing your customer, understanding the customer service you can provide, understanding wellness presentations, booking launches. It's really important for your newbies to book a launch party or some kind of launch into their business. And the reason it's important is because throughout your business, the most exciting time and the most energetic time when you are putting off those excited vibes and just passionate and full gung-ho and everything else is usually at the start of your business. That you want to share that with as many people as you can and leverage off that. So my launch party, I had 11 people and 9 people signed up, and then 5 turned into new teamies. So, I mean, that was super successful. I can't speak highly enough of launch parties. And then, the last couple of pages really just goes into the head office information, everything else, which I would say to put into your phone and make sure that you've got hold of. But the last things I do want to talk about is the big dates to put in your calendar, and one of those is Melbourne Conference. So Melbourne Conference is the 16th and 17th of June. Put it in your calendar and try everything you can to get there. If you're getting bonus money, put your bonus money towards there, because it will turn your business around. Lise, tell me about conference.
I went. I haven't even. I can hear myself. This is weird. Anyway. I think my thing playing up. I didn't even go to an Australian conference first. I went straight to Nashville, and I just went on a bit of a whim, I guess. Taz was there when I booked my flights, and it was like maybe 3 weeks out from me going. It was ridiculous, and it was awesome. And it doubled my paycheck when I got back. It was just almost instant, and I'd hardly done anything. I was just getting so revved up, and Jo was getting all of that energy back here, and she was just running with it. And Jo was the reason why my paycheck doubled, because of her she just took off. So, I mean, I didn't even get any customers, I don't think. I actually didn't even get any new customers. I didn't really get any. I got a few more teenies, before that. But, yeah, it was all Jo. It was just ridiculous. But I was thinking about that the other day, Taz. I haven't had a new customer for almost 4 months.
Well,
that's not good.
Let's do a call and we'll work on that. Are you doing
it? Yeah. Hey?
We can talk about it after. Are you doing your grid?
Oh, see, another thing. I just don't, because I'm
You froze.
so hectic at work. Busy at work, and I haven't been printed off, so I just keep forgetting. Print it off.
Well, just as effective as a grid, you can literally write 1 to 30 down a sheet of A4 or paper, and then every day you're writing 2 names next to that number. That's the same as a grid. But really, if nothing's happening in your business, if you can sincerely hold your grid up and it looks like this, which is nothing, then that's why nothing's happening. If you hold it up and there's, names in every single day, then I can turn around and go, that's cool. If nothing's happening, then let's have a chat about how we're talking about it, or what you're doing, or how you're contacting, or are you following up, things like that. And we can work on actually reining it in a bit more. But I think the 30-day grid really does give you a picture as to what you're working on in your business. So that's why that's useful. But let's catch up on that, Lise. So if everyone can put the Melbourne Conference in their calendar and work towards that, if you want to talk about it more, if you want to hook up with other people and share accommodation to break up costs, we can do that. We can put it out there and try to organise that. Flights are on and off getting cheaper and cheaper, and with Qantas and various other ones, they always have sales, and I think Friday is a Friday frenzy for most airlines. And it's at the Crown Casino in Melbourne. So, and I'm not staying at the Crown, I'm staying at self-contained accommodation. I'm bringing my mum with me to look after Macy. So we can go. But does anyone have any, I guess, questions on any of the training? Because that's pretty much it. I mean, I know we did go over time, but I guess we were chatting about other bits and pieces as well. So has anyone got any questions?
Nope.
No. Cool. So if you sign someone into your business and you're getting them set up, I'm more than happy to run a starter guide training for as long as it takes until you put your hand up and say, yep, got it. And you can take care of your own teamies. Otherwise, I'm more than happy to just get on and do it. So we'll nail it we went 35 minutes today for lunchtime, and we went a little bit longer today. So we can get it done in 35 minutes most times, 30 minutes.
Cool.
So cool, guys. All right, if you haven't listened to Sam Cawthorne yet, get on it.
Awesome.
All right, Kylie.
Thanks, guys.
Did you fall asleep?
Thank you. No. Thank you.
No worries. Yeah, if you guys want to line up any chats with me for any stuff, then just let me know. Message me after and we can organise it.
Cool.
Otherwise, have a good night.
You too.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Bye.
Bye.